So on January 20th, 2020, there was an indictment for this charge here on Michelle Barrientes Vela, correct?
Okay, yes, sir.
And obviously she was indicted by this current district attorney's office, correct?
Yes.
The same DA's office that actually initiated the investigation, correct?
Yes.
The same DA's office was prosecuting this case, correct?
Yes.
The same DA's office that arguably that has trial lawyers in the chain of custody of some of this evidence, correct?
Yes.
And this indictment came, if you know, 4 weeks before the primary of the sheriff race, correct?
Okay. If you say so.
Was there any communication by anyone, me, my office, your office, that we had to time it before the primary?
No.
And if you know, do you recall when Constable Vela announced she was running for sheriff?
I think it was the day of the search warrant, if I'm not mistaken.
This is a yes or no answer. Did you believe Susan had a motive to conceal documents?
No.
And for the sake conceal or create or not provide?
No. You said to Dawn that it says this word, any other related information such as that has names and times, right?
There you go.
Right.
Keep going.
Well, I've been through this with you twice, so let's go for a third time. So they also have an application of these deputies, right? Their employment application.
It says Rodriguez Park, Mr. LaHood.
I understand that. You said any, so it could have been in relation to Rodriguez Park because you have driver's license, you have T-code license, because they need their T-code license to work at Rodriguez Park, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is not clear. This is a copy of a security agreement, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it's in evidence, correct?
Okay, yes.
Similar security agreement that you were looking at when you wrote out that subpoena, correct?
Yes.
And it has the pavilion on here, correct?
That's not the same one, Nico, so be careful because the other one had officer's name written off to the side.
They're both in evidence.
All right.
But thank you.
Hey, you're going to do it to me, I'm going to do the same to you.
Really? That's how you work, right? You're telling this jury that 7 minutes ago you testified to them and you didn't know what Dawn was talking about when she referenced P1. But on June 11th, 3 years ago when you're writing up this subpoena, you knew exactly the P1 meant pavilion on that cash log that you had already? Is that what you're telling them?
I just told you I didn't know, Mr. LaHood.
I asked you a separate question. I know that. Are you telling this jury that on June 11th you knew that P1 in this little scribble, that is Susan's system, was referencing Pavilion 1?
I did not know.
You don't believe that potentially a witness, the main witness, that shredded security agreements, I'm going to give you a list, written up for it, knows that the government's looking for what she shredded, has a plan to move to Seattle, and is afraid she's going to get in trouble for what she shredded? You don't think that's a potential thing that you should flush out and look into?
Susan Tristan gave us no reason to distrust her or not believe what she was saying.
And so without this court letting us present that evidence, we are with our hands tied behind our back.
Your response to if the defense says that is, Ranger Freeman testified he had no reason to not trust her. That's your response. You want to get into prior bad acts, uncharged crimes, and I'm not allowing that. And when I say this, I'm going to say this to everyone at both the council table. We already avoided a mistrial one time. So when you do your closing, you better be very careful what the words that you use. Because if you think I'm going to hesitate to hold you in contempt, I am not going to hesitate. So we're not going into anything that is not related to tampering. Period. The end.
That's the witness. Thank you, Ranger.
No further questions.
Have you ever seen anybody indicted for tampering with evidence for not replying to a grand jury subpoena?
No.
How many times have you done, worked on, or seen a tampering with or fabricating evidence case?
Throughout my career?
Yes. Is a grand jury attorney?
As the grand jury attorney?
Yes.
I don't know the number off the top of my head, but several.
State, any other witnesses?
No, Judge, at this time the state practice rests.